Welcome to the main event. In the red chair, coming out of Matlock, Derbyshire, is the biscuit-crunching, coffee-lugging, fact-busting man himself, Mr. Simon Biscuit of Choice Wood. In the blue chair, coming out of Sheffield, Yorkshire, is the wine-glugging, speech-slurring, two-drink snack of choice himself, Darren the Bald Eagle Brown. Will the two of you proceed to the referee?
Okay, you two. I want a good, clean podcast. Watch your punchlines and no lemon twists. When you hear the bell, I want you to go back to your chairs and come out talking. Understood?
I just love everything about this film.
Call me Shandy Pants if you want to.
Don't mention that Rocky IV standee to me.
And the tears are running down my face, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
This is what you want.
He's an absolute mean machine.
He hits him. He's got to hit him.
Rocky takes on Thunderlips.
Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand.
The guy's absolutely unstoppable.
And he's just getting beaten, isn't he? Knocked from pillar to post.
This fella's the real deal.
Clubber ain't gonna kiss you. He's gonna kill you.
You ain't so bad. You ain't so bad.
Okay, Darren. Shall we climb through the ropes for Rocky III and go one more round? Do you want to ring the bell? Ding, ding.
So, Simon, Rocky III from 1982, and the third instalment from probably the best trilogy of all time.
I'll go with that one, Darren. I'm looking forward to this one because I think we both agree on this. This is our favourite Rocky film.
Oh, yes. I think you're doing a little bit of research. I think it's the fans' favourite Rocky film as well.
Don't get me wrong, I like all the Rocky films. I think 1 and 2 are the grit and the story of Rocky.
Yes.
And then I think 3, 4 go into a bit more of a blasé, blockbustery film, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And number 5, we don't talk about 5.
I like it.
I don't know. He doesn't box. Rocky boxed. He was still only 43 when he was doing Rocky 5.
Is that all?
Yeah, he still would have been in shape to do it. I just don't know why he didn't, but we've got this gem to look back at, Rocky 3, and I'm quite enjoying talking about this one this week, I think, Darren.
So can you tell me where you watched it? Where did you rewatch it?
I rewatched it. Again, if you're regular to this podcast, you know what's coming. I rewatched this last night on the sofa. Everybody went to bed, and I put this one on, and I thought, I've not watched it for a while. Let's just see if it grabs me like it used to. I sat there, and this week's biscuit of choice, Darren, was not why it is a biscuit. It was in keeping with the film. It was those little Rocky bars.
Yes, I was going to pull you up. I was going to say, why didn't you have a Rocky bar?
Yes, I had all 6 of them in one go.
What?
Yeah, I had them all as I watched this. And
how did you get off the canvas after this?
I was down for the count. It took to number 9 for me to get up. But I watched this one, and I don't think a minute went by where I thought, oh, this is, sometimes your mind wanders.
Yes.
When you're watching films. My mind didn't wander. I put the phone out of the way, I put everything out of the way, apart from my pen and paper to make a few notes, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I can still say this is my favourite Rocky film.
That's brilliant. It is.
Yeah, when did you rewatch this one, Darren, should I say?
I watched this on a Saturday night, as usual. And if you're a regular listener, you know the score. But on this occasion, I watched it literally stuck to the sofa in this balmy heat wave that we're having. And I had a pint, or maybe 2, a pint of shandy. There was no wine. Not in this weather, I can't do it. It totally dehydrates me. So call me Shandy Pants if you want to. I know you're dying to.
That's got to stick, that Shandy Pants.
But there were also no 2-drink snack of choice because holiday is almost here. And you know what? I can finally get into last year's trousers.
No,
But only with one of those little extender buttons. I don't know if you've seen.
I know what you mean. Because you've watched this film, you want to look like Rocky Balboa, don't you, on the holiday, Darren? You want to be walking along in your budgie smugglers with the physique out.
I look more like Rocky Raccoon than Rocky Balboa. But yeah, that was me on the sofa, a couple of pints of shandy, and oh my goodness, it's just incredible, isn't it? It's just what you want on a Saturday night. If you're bored and you can't find anything to watch, this film will sort that out.
definitely. It kind of grabs you. And the bit I like about the Rocky films, I like the start. You know, it gives you the recap from the one before.
Yes.
So then you're into it. Obviously, Rocky's getting off the canvas, and then you hear the music and everything. Then we're into it. And I just love everything about this film. I think it's got so much depth to it when you watch it. And you look back at it and think, people might just say it's just another boring Stallone action film. No, no, no. It's got heart. It's got everything you want out of a Rocky film, this one.
Now, I don't know if you can remember back when it was released or around that time, but Rocky films were kind of poked fun at a little bit, wasn't they? How many Rockies you'd hear? Oh, Rocky 10, Rocky 20. And looking back, you'd, in a way, kind of join in and say, yeah, it's going to be silly now, but thank God Sylvester Stallone carried on writing.
Oh, yeah, I'll go with that. Everyone that says the Rocky films, no, but if you've got a formula that works, keep doing it.
Oh, definitely.
Make it better. Make it bigger. Make it better. It's like the Fast and Furious films. We're up to number 11 now.
I don't know. I've never watched past the first one myself.
I'll watch them. I'm kind of losing a bit of interest with it now, but they can keep doing it. And I've looked at interviews with Stallone when I was doing the research for this, and he was always, you know, he would do sequels, which I quite like. He wasn't afraid of doing a sequel to a film, but the only one he wishes he'd have done a sequel to was Cobra, and he never did.
No.
And I wish he had. I like Cobra.
Yes.
I like it. And like I say, I think Rocky 3 and Rocky 4, I think in my own little head, they're kind of up there together. But I think 3 just pips it. And we're going to touch on this, why. I think I prefer 3 as we go along.
Okay.
But at this point in time, early 80s, right through to the end of the 80s, I think Sylvester Stallone was at the peak of his powers, wasn't he?
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's probably at his height of fame, and acting, writing, directing, all that. Where on earth do people find the time to do that?
I don't know, but like you say, it's... I've looked at interviews, because I watch a lot of interviews with Stallone, because I really do like Stallone as an actor, and I quite like him as a person. It's someone I would like to meet, you know, because he just seems quite a decent guy.
Yes.
And you look at it, and I've looked at ones when he was doing, I think, was he doing Rambo 2? He was doing Rambo 2, and between doing takes of Rambo 2, because obviously he wrote that one as well, didn't he, and directed it, he was actually writing Rocky 4 between takes of Rambo. The man is a genius, and I don't think Stallone gets enough credit for what he's brought to cinema.
No, he doesn't.
That what he deserves as much, in my eyes, I put him up there with Steven Spielberg.
Oh, yeah, all the greats. All the greats from yesteryear.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because, like, obviously, as he was getting older, the 80s action films, he was going into the 90s and the 2000s, it changed. Everything changed. And he was a bit, like, lost, I think. But as it went on, he seems to have redeemed himself a little bit with the TV series The Tulsa King and things like this. But another film, which I think we might have to cover Stallone films a bit more in depth as we go on, if we get up to 300 episodes. I would love to do Copland from 1997 with Stallone.
That's a very different role for Sylvester Stallone.
He plays that brilliantly. I don't think he gets the credit there that he deserves, to be honest.
No, because you kind of wanting action from him all the time, and it's not that kind of film for him, is it?
No, it's fantastic. But I think the Rocky films, I think the way they get slated is because of the way he speaks.
It will always be the same, but more fool those people.
Definitely. And I think these two especially, he does a little bit in the first one of this, the first few scenes of this. I think he's a bit, talks like Rocky. But then he doesn't, does he? He becomes a bit more normal. And especially in Rocky 4, he doesn't speak like he did in the first and second ones. But then when we go to 5, he's talking like that again.
Yes, and he goes back to his origins, doesn't he?
Yeah, he goes back full Rocky, I think. But I prefer him in these two.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Of course it does, yes. So, Simon, you've told me where you rewatched it. Can you remember where you first watched it?
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Because we're going back to 1982, and you had been a little nipper.
Yeah, it wasn't 82. I'd have been 6 in 82. Now, there's a bit of a story to this one. I actually watched Rocky 4 before I watched Rocky 3, and that was the first Rocky film that I ever watched. And I remember it was a friend of mine from primary school. I'd still been in primary school at Churchtown this time, because it was 1986, so I'd have been 10. It was a friend of mine, Matthew Allsop's birthday party, and they took us down to Matlock Cinema. Quite a lot of us from the school. It wasn't a big school. I say a lot of us. It was probably about 8 of us from the school, because we didn't have a massive primary school. And we went to watch Rocky IV. Obviously, it was in good old Matlock Cinema, so I remember this. I really do remember this. And we went and sat down, we got the popcorn, and we sat there, and obviously it comes on. And then it starts with Rocky 3, doesn't it?
Yes.
Obviously 4, I'm talking about 4, so we might confuse people listening. So I'm talking about 4 at the moment. So we're watching number 4, and it comes on Rocky 3. And all I could think of was, that's Mr. T from the A-Team.
Yes.
That's B.A. Baracus. So I'm watching this thinking, I don't kind of get my head around this. And then I got my head around, obviously that was the 3rd film. So we watched Rocky 4. And then at that time, being 10, it wasn't a time that I'd majorly go into Christine's. From about 11 onwards, I was always in Christine's. So I wouldn't have never seen the box for Rocky 3. Now, I do have Rocky 3 ex-rental on my shelf up there. And I'll get into a story about Christine's with Rocky 3 a little bit as we go on. And I must have totally forgot about it. And in 1986, Christmas Day 1986, we went to Australia as a family to go over to my uncle's, because he emigrated to Australia. And so we was there for 6 weeks. So we flew out Christmas Day. I remember flying out Christmas Day. I remember getting there, and obviously we'd been there a week. We'd done a few things. And I remember my uncle saying, shall we go and rent some videos from the video shop, video library, whatever they called it. And yeah, we went down, and obviously my Uncle Dave said there was me and my brother James and Jason. Right, we can all pick one. Simon, you pick one. James, you pick one. My cousin Joanne and Craig, we'll pick a few. So I stood there, and I saw the box for Rocky 3. And I'm thinking, that's that film with Mr. T in it. And because it was later out, obviously, in the release of them, so it was like a week rental. So I think mine was something like 50 cents to rent it. So I picked that one. I think my cousin Joanne, she picked Grease 2. I remember that. I remember watching Grease 2.
Terrible film.
I actually like it. Cornly rubbish, but I like it.
Okay.
But we're not going to do that on here. Unless anybody wants us to, then we'll do it. But I remember watching it. And I remember just being drawn into Clubber Lang and thinking, wow, he's just like Mr. T of the A-Team. So I can safely say I can 100% remember watching that in Adelaide, Australia in January 1986. That's the first time I watched it.
That's amazing. On the other side of the world.
Exactly, Darren. Do you remember where you first watched this one?
Well, yes, my story's slightly different to yours. I do remember watching it on video back in the 80s. And again, it was handed to my parents in the pub on a Friday night on the provisions that guess who had to take it back the next day?
I would imagine getting used to these podcasts and getting to know you a little bit better than I already do. I'd say that was you, Darren.
Correct. Well done. You do listen to things I say in the past.
You see, I do. I take it all in.
So I'd heard of the Rocky films, but I'd not actually seen one. And I remember putting it on in the morning while they were upstairs in bed nursing the hangovers. But I only got so far. I put it on, I thought, hey, this is pretty good. I'm enjoying this. Because the TV went. See, we had a thing called a slot on our TV where you had to put 50p in to make it work.
I'd love one of them. I'd love one of them in my man cave, Darren.
But that 50p would probably put 3 or 4 hours on. And at the end of the month, the firm that you rented it off would come round and collect all the 50p's, and that would pay for the rental. Because if you remember, nobody owned a TV or video in those days.
No,
everything was rented.
We did. My mum and dad rented from farmers down the road. They rented the VHS and the TV. Because they rented, you could change them quite often. So if a bigger size telly came out, you could go and swap it. Obviously, payments might go up a little, but you could go and swap it. Sorry, Darren. I've stopped your story. Sorry.
No, you've joined in. That's brilliant. But anyway, I didn't have 50p. I didn't have 5p. And by the time they dragged themselves out of bed, it was time for me to take the video back, which was really, really frustrating. So I never saw most of that film. And it seemed like ages since I'd watch it again at my friend's house, because they were back in the 80s, you've got loads of films, haven't you? But I do remember going in and seeing, I think, do you call them the standees?
Standees, yeah.
Yes, and I think it might have been to Rocky IV because it was a little bit later.
Don't mention that standee to me, Darren. Don't mention that Rocky IV standee to me.
I don't want any trouble.
It's a family show, and I don't want to swear on this podcast. But my dad, Richard Wood, you know what's coming. Absolute beast of a man.
And
I had that standee. I had it, and he threw it down Tansley Tip.
Just imagine if you didn't have a mirror, you could stand in front of the standee thinking, I look pretty buff here.
Exactly, I do that anyway, Darren.
Well done. Anyway, strangely enough, weeks later, somebody told my father, who from the pub obviously, how to get more hours on your TV by the use of a screwdriver or a knife, and you could kind of clock the hours up.
Brilliant, I like that.
Well, that was okay until the collector came around at the end of the month and only noticed, why is there only a couple of 50p's in here?
Have you not watched much telly this month? No, we're not.
Yeah, you'd use it like, no, there's nothing on really, nothing worth watching. And that was it. I kind of watched it kind of in two halves. I was frustrated at the first part because I never had the 50p and it went out, and then it went back to the video library. And it was some time in the 80s when I would have watched it again, and I desperately wanted to see it. So I was really happy and really glad when it was round at my friend's house and he got it out. It was brilliant.
Sorry, I wanted to laugh then. I didn't.
Yes, I know you were going to make a crude joke, but we'll not go
I did
there.
think when you said it, I thought, okay, but I won't do. No, we're a family show. No, but I remember, like you, I remember renting the tellies. I remember the TV with the coin slots. And like we've said numerous times, the 80s in the UK was a hard time. It was a hard time for families. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not easy nowadays with the cost of living. But back then, we didn't have as much as we have now. It wasn't like we could just flick Netflix on or Disney Plus. You know, it was harder. We didn't have a 100-inch telly to sit in the front room and watch. You was lucky if you had like a 14-inch or a 20-inch, weren't you? That was pretty much.
Yeah, I think they were usually around 21-inch Pi or something like that. Remember the Pi rediffusion, things like that?
I remember that we had, and I wish I could get one now. I do. I keep looking for one. I can't find it. We had a Grundig. It had wooden panelling on it. It was a big thing. I'd say it was about at least a 28-inch. It was big. Yeah. But it weighed a ton. I remember it weighing a ton. And it's just, like you say, you forget. And that's why I like to do this, because it transports you back to that time where you remember. Does. Like you can just say TV of the slot, and then automatically I think of this Grundig telly. It's fantastic. It really is.
And it seems unheard of now to rent these items when, if things break now, most people don't even get guarantees. They just go out and you can get anything you want on credit and you just go out and buy a new one.
They do. I mean, like, my telly just went wrong, didn't it? And luckily, because it was a Sony telly, it had a 5-year warranty, and I got a brand new 65-inch telly, which is 10 times better than the one I had, for nothing.
Wow.
And it only got a week left of its warranty.
Oh, you did it on purpose.
No, it was like that for a while, and it's just I found the receipt by accident. I wasn't looking for it because I thought, I'm going to have to get it looked at or buy a new telly. And I looked and it went, you got the 5-year warranty. Rung Sony, came out, looked at it, can't repair it, so you're getting a new telly. That doesn't happen to me. I'm never that guy. I'm not lucky in any way, shape or form and stuff like that. It's always somebody else.
That's right. And you would have never got that back in the 80s.
No.
Somebody would have just come, taken it away, and you were either having to wait until it got repaired or they'd just swap it over for a different one.
Yeah, it's like you talk about their TVs and things. I used to love going into Dixon's, just looking at stuff, the TVs, the Walkmans. I don't get that feeling now when I walk into Curry's. You see all the tellies, all the stuff. They're too big, they're too huge. There's just everything everywhere. I used to just like the smallness of Dixon's and being able to look at big boom boxes, hi-fi systems, Walkmans, everything like that, laser displays.
You were at that impressionable age, wasn't you?
Definitely.
Growing up, and you had all this new technology that didn't seem to be there in the 70s, and TV probably in the 60s and the 70s weren't as popular as the boom that went off in the 80s. I think it really come to the forefront in the 80s.
I think, like you say, because we lived through it, it was unreal. It just, everything was amazing. It was just there, but you couldn't have it. And like we've said before, you had to wait for a birthday, you had to wait for Christmas, or if you broke your arm or leg, your mum and dad would give you a gift, wouldn't they, because you'd hurt yourself. And I think that's what made it more special. The waiting, the build-up, the wanting. I remember my mum coming fetching, getting me from Highfield School. I think I was in the third year, which is year 10, I think, now. And she made out I got a dentist appointment, and she took me on a December, I think it was mid-December, to go and get my Sega Mega Drive. And I went into Dixon's and picked it up, and I was so excited. And I remember my mum putting it at the top of a wardrobe. I think I've said this story before. And because my mum and dad used to work all the time, we come home from school, they didn't get in till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We'd get the Mega Drive down out of the wardrobe, unbox it, play on Altered Beast, play it to death, put it away, put it back in the wardrobe. My mates used to come round, oh, Simon Jim's got a Mega Drive, or Simon's got a Mega Drive. They'd all come down and have a go on this thing, and everyone would be like at school, I want a Sega Mega Drive. I played on one at his house. How have you done this? That's how. So when Christmas Day came, it was a bit of an anticlimax. You know what I mean? But luckily they got me a few more games for it, which I didn't know. And that was just the 80s for me. That was just the memories you have from doing this.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So, Simon, shall we dive into Rocky?
Okay, Darren, shall we climb through the ropes for Rocky 3 and go one more round? Do you want to ring the bell? Ding, ding.
Very good.
That's what Apollo does, doesn't it, at the end?
He does. So, as you said earlier, the film starts with a look back to how Rocky 2 finished. And as soon as it comes on, you can hear the commentary. You can see this heavyweight championship belt, and it's shown on the screen. And the Rocky music's played. We then cut to this immense footage of Rocky and Apollo in this final round. And this is only a minute and a half in, and I'm already on the edge of my seat. Already.
Can you remember what the commentators were called?
I don't think I know what the commentators are called, but go for it.
Bill Baldwin and Stu Nahum.
Well, what a job they do. They've just got the right voice for it, haven't they?
The bit I like about this, they were in Rocky 1, they were in Rocky 2, and they were also in this one, Rocky 3. So Stallone kept the continuity.
Yes, which you need in any good saga or film.
Like we've said before, if you're doing sequels, you want the cast to all be the same, otherwise it doesn't work.
Now, when they're showing you this footage, and again, because it may be years ago since you've seen it, they both fall to the floor, and it's who gets up first. Is it Rocky or is it Apollo? And obviously, we all want Rocky to win, but at the same time, I don't want Apollo to lose because I love his character.
I think, like you say, the first one, I think they did it right where Rocky didn't win.
Yes.
I think that was the perfect way to do it. He didn't win. And I think this time, obviously, he had to win. Because obviously, he's like a punching bag, isn't he, Rocky, when you watch this?
Yes.
And if you'd paid $24.99, whatever they are now, for boxing fights, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, whatever they are, you're not going to get a fight like this for the money that you pay. Now, if you see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua when they finally fight, lay down like this in round, did they do 15 rounds in this one?
I think so.
And they're clamouring to get up. This is what you want.
This is what you want, yes.
Exactly. Now, like you've just said, they're all screaming, Paulie's shouting, get up, Rocky, and like Adrian's even shouting, get up, get up, get up, because you want him to get up. And he just pips Apollo by 1 second.
1 second. And
1 second.
Cue the music. Everybody's in the ring. Rocky's shouting for Adrian, and the tears are running down my face, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Do you know the bit I like you've just touched on there? He wins the heavyweight title. Now, Rocky hasn't had a lot, as he hasn't got a lot. He's in this one, he's got a bit of money, but he soon finds that his fame is dwindling, isn't it? As quick as it's come. Now, he wins that fight. His face is busted up. He can barely see.
Oh, absolutely.
And what's the one person all he can think about?
His wife.
Oh, this is what makes this man brilliant for me. He's not interested in what he's just done.
No.
He just wants to shout, yo, Adrian, I did it.
No, but it's the way he says it. It's the way he screams. He's almost crying.
It is, and I think these films, which kind of did me with the later one, the Rocky Balboa, as good as Rocky Balboa is, for me, it missed the heart of Adrian. Yes. You need Adrian. Adrian is with Rocky. They're a pair. And Adrian, as we'll touch on later in this film, I think she's brilliant in this one.
She is. She doesn't. In the other two, she doesn't have too much to say, but she comes
No.
to the forefront in this film.
She does. And then, like you say, once he's done that, then we see the blaseness of this now.
Oh.
It's blown up, hasn't it? He's gone mainstream now.
But when the Eye of the Tiger cuts in, when that song actually cuts in, and they show you this incredible montage,
It's brilliant. Do you know what music they wanted to choose for this?
I knew you were going to ask me that. You've mentioned this before, and I can't remember.
Yes, on a previous podcast. I've mentioned this on a previous podcast. So I'll tell you what, if you're a new listener to this podcast and you do look back at our back catalogue, I'll tell you which one it was from. It was from the Karate Kid episode that we did.
That's it. That's the one. Yes.
You're the Best at the end of the Karate Kid was actually written for Rocky 3, but Sylvester Stallone didn't think it fitted with this film, so he passed on it, and obviously that went then to the Karate Kid. But there was another song that Stallone wanted for this, which I don't think would have worked, personally.
Okay.
Do you know which one that was?
No, not in the slightest.
It was by Queen, the band Queen, and it was another one, Bites the Dust.
No.
But they couldn't get the movie right to it or something. They couldn't get the rights to it, so he passed on it. And he then went for this one,
Eye of the Tiger.
But
Survivor.
I think if you listen to the words of Eye of the Tiger, it fits.
It certainly does. Now, the thing about this song is a demo version. This isn't the real song. Survivor made a demo, sent it to Sylvester Stallone, and he loved it that much that he used that version straight away, not knowing it was just a demo. And later on, Survivor recorded a more polished version for the charts. But this is just a demo, and if you listen to it, you can hear.
I've never really listened to it in depth. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant. It is. I'll have to give that a listen now.
You will, once you know, and it will stand out a mile.
I'm going to say something else to you in a minute when this montage is going. And once you know, and when you see it, you will never unsee it.
No, but I do remember seeing this on Top of the Pops back in the 80s.
Yeah.
When they were showing you Eye of the Tiger. And the video to this, I wasn't bothered about seeing Survivor, as good as a band as they were. I wanted to see the Rocky footage because I was absolutely mesmerised. And we talk a lot about music fitting scenes in films. And this is up there with the best.
It is. I mean, you see Rocky doing what Rocky's doing. And Rocky, to be fair, he's flattening these guys, isn't he? He's
Yes.
Going through the montage, and you see like his celebrity rising, but you also see Paulie becoming very jealous
Yes, you
of
do.
Rocky's fame. And this is building now to something, isn't it? But I like this bit because, like I say, it's going through and he's telling like Rocky KO's the German champ, Rocky's 6th title defence. So you're getting an inkling to how many fights he's having from when he's won the belt. But you also see Clubber Lang, Mr. T.
Do you know what? In my opinion, Clubber Lang is the most aggressive, nasty, focused, brutal character to come out of the 80s. He's an absolute mean machine.
But he's one of the most recognisable people from the 80s. Anybody that grew up in our era, if you say Mr. T, everybody knows who Mr. T is.
Everybody knows.
But he wasn't a major movie star, was he?
Was this his first role?
Yes. Now he got... they found him, didn't they? Because didn't he do a TV show, something like The World's Best Bouncer or something? The World's Toughest Bouncer.
Okay.
And he was filmed throwing people out of nightclubs. And that's how they found him. Because the original... Do you know the original person they wanted to play Clubber Lang?
No.
It was actually a boxer who went by the name of Ernie Shavers.
Oh, I've heard of Ernie Shavers, yes.
Ernie Shavers used to have supposedly one of the hardest punches on earth. So obviously Sylvester Stallone got him in and they did a bit of sparring. And because he was a boxer, he couldn't really spar. Like, it's more like a dance, isn't it? A spar in a film, where you have to pull the punch. And I think they said, Stallone said, no, hit me. So I think he hit Stallone. And I think he really hurt Stallone in the ribs. And he had to take a few days off filming. But then when they came to like giving him the script, he spoke a bit with not a lisp, his voice, he didn't come across very well.
Okay, yes.
So that was where they said, no, we can't have a boxer, we're going to have to get an actor. So I think then they saw Mr. T. Now, do you know Mr. T's proper name?
I don't actually. You just know him as Mr. T.
Lawrence Thuru or something. Thuru. I don't know how they pronounce it, but that's where Mr. T came from.
Ah, Lawrence Theroux. Yeah, I suppose that could still be a good boxer's name.
Could be, but like you say, I think for the time, this man is frightening.
Oh, he is.
Just the look, the mohawk, the change. It's basically Mr. B.A. Baracus from the A-Team in Rocky 3, wasn't he?
Yes. And he seems to be angry in everything he does.
He does. Now, because on this opening sequence, we get the flip side. We get Rocky doing what Rocky does, and obviously Mr. T's watching and he's getting more angry. And then he starts his boxing journey, doesn't he, through the sequence.
Yes.
The montage is the word I'm looking for. But also, the contrast of the two. He's just beating people down. Even when they're getting up, he's still punching them, isn't he?
Oh, that aggression is just... it's frightening.
Now, what I just said to you, one of the fighters, now, if you can remember the montage, there's one he hits and he basically takes them off the feet and they go into the corner.
Yes.
Into the turnbuckle. He's basically off his feet, isn't he?
Yes.
He's flying into the turnbuckle. Now, do you know who that was?
No idea.
That was Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank Stallone.
Was it really?
Yes, because if you look closely, it looks like Rocky flying into the turnbuckle, but it actually isn't. It's Frank Stallone.
Never knew. Never noticed.
And then you also get Rocky now doing charity work, and he's doing all this, isn't he? And he's at birthday parties, and they see Christmas, and you see the iconic motorbike before he gets the Rocky paint job on it. And he actually endorses a famous movie car, doesn't he, from the 80s?
Which one?
Darren, come on, if you've watched this montage, you should pick this straight out like I did.
No, it's not the DeLorean, is it?
It's the DeLorean. He actually endorses a DeLorean. He's on a magazine cover with a DeLorean. He's on GQ. He's on everything. He's even on the Muppets. The clip you see of him from the Muppets is when Sylvester Stallone was actually on the Muppets from 1978.
Oh, right.
So that's a few years before.
So that's real.
That is real. Yeah, he's actually on the Muppets, hitting the bag when he must have done the first Rocky film. But you're also seeing, like I've just touched on, the endorsements that Rocky's doing.
Yes.
Like bars. But can we also, and I forgot this one, I wanted to just say this, which was on about the montage. That left hook that Rocky gives one of them fighters, you know, when he really steps in.
Oh, yes.
Do you reckon Stallone really hit him there?
I think I know which one you're on about, because it just shows you him kind of move into the punch and really hit him. And he does hit him.
Yeah, he hits him. He's got to hit him. Now, quickly, before we'll do the montage bit, but we've forgot one of the main things we do on this podcast.
Well, just before we do that, which I'm always dying to hear.
Yep.
I just wanted to say, is there a better opening to a film in movie history? Because you've got tears, you've got joy, aggression, uplifting music, passion. I'm struggling to think of a better 5 or 6 minutes to the start of a film. It's just brilliant.
It is, and I like the pictures of like Rocky's even was stood with, obviously it must be Sylvester Stallone, Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Wow.
You know, and I like the bit where Rocky and Adrian are on the motorbike.
Yep.
And like Rocky's obviously, he's so in love with this woman, isn't he? It's just untrue. That's his significant other, isn't it? That's where Rocky is, Adrian is. And the bit I like about this is the newspaper headlines, you know, where it keeps showing you on the paper.
Yep.
That's the bit I like. And the bit I also like is now, obviously, Mickey's got wind of Clubber Lang. So he's watching Clubber Lang.
Yeah, he's got his feet on ground, Mika. He knows.
Yeah. And that bit where, obviously, Clubber then becomes the number one contender. And he's screaming at Mickey, which boxers do now. He's screaming at him, I'm coming for Balboa. Balboa's next. Tell him, little man, I'm coming for him. I'm going to crucify him. Now, Mickey's clued up to boxers. Mickey knows that if Rocky gets in the ring with this guy, it's over.
Yeah, he looks scared, Mickey, to me.
He's going to run through him. Mickey sees this, and as a boxer, you don't want to admit that this guy's better than you. Yeah, I'll go against him, I'll fight him, and Mickey knows Rocky can't fight this guy. This guy will absolutely, as he says later in the film, knock you into tomorrow, which He does. And I think looking back at this film, I was quite surprised myself. I can quote this film pretty much word for word.
Yeah, you're doing a pretty good job.
And it's nice when we do these films because I would put Rocky 3 in my top 5 favourite films ever.
Yeah, I can
It
see
is.
that, yes.
And we've not touched on my favourite film from the 80s yet. But when we do, I think you know what it is, and I think it might surprise a lot of people what it is.
Well, the people out there will just have to wait.
I'll have to wait because I've purposely not put it in yet. And I think I'll have to do shortly because you know which film I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes.
And from all these action films and everything, I think it might surprise people what it is.
Okay, well,
But
the
we'll
people,
go for that.
they'll just have to keep listening.
Exactly. And touching on that, Darren, shall we do the top 10 films that Rocky 3, before we dive in more, that Rocky 3 went up against in 1982?
Oh, yes, please.
Now, we have done this before. 82, we've done it before. 'Cause
Yes,
when
with
I wrote
E.T..
this down- With E.T. So we'll do this and then I'll do the release dates for Rocky 3. So number 10 was Annie.
Annie's not a bad musical. I like musicals.
Yep. Number 9 was The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
I think, is that Dolly Parton?
It is, yes.
Can't say I've ever seen it.
I haven't, never seen it. You like this one. Number 8 is Poltergeist. I like that one.
I do like it, but it scares me to death.
Yeah, and I can see that. I think I first watched that when I was about 11 or 12 on my own.
What? Very brave person.
I've got a story for that. If we ever get to it, there's a story behind that one. Number 7 was 48 Hours.
Oh, Eddie Murphy, fantastic film.
I'm not going to be like a broken record and say this when I say this film. This is a different one of these, but I'll say it now. Not a Trekkie, nothing against Star Trek. Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yes, I will agree with you.
Number 5, I think every young boy of our age between 12 and 15 has watched this one, or should I say 16, Porky's.
Yes, I remember. I remember it being out, but I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Number 4 was Rocky 3.
Only number 4?
But I don't get number 2. I don't really get number 3 that it didn't beat, but I probably do get it when I say it. Number 3 was An Officer and a Gentleman.
That is a really good film. That is a very good film, that. Richard Gere, yes.
But would you put it above Rocky 3 in your films?
No, but
Well,
I could see how
The
it...
older people watching it, I get it. The ladies watching it, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah, for Richard Gere. Number 2 was Tootsie.
Tootsie, I think we've mentioned Tootsie before. It's still a good film, but would you put it above Rocky 3? Probably not.
No. And number 1, it would have had to have been a monster film to knock this one off number 1. Number 1 was E.T.
Of course. Anytime you mention 82, you think of E.T.
But you go on and say that. Now, Rocky was number 4. So it went on to make a worldwide box office gross of 270 million.
Wow.
So those other ones below it must have made a heck of a lot more money.
Yeah. Wow.
And the release dates for this, now there's a few for this one. This one quite surprised me because it got a Philadelphia premiere.
Ah.
So it was premiered in Philadelphia first before anywhere else. And that was May 24th, 1982.
Right, okay, yes.
So then they got it in the United States on May 28th, 1982.
Okay, didn't have to wait too long.
No, only a couple of days. And we got it in the good old UK. We got it on July 22nd, 1982.
Hey, that's quite a quick turnover for us.
It was.
Back then.
Now, the UK VHS home rental or Betamax back then, released for Rocky 3 in the UK, was May 1983.
So
pretty
about a
much
year or so.
a year. Now, I couldn't find any terrestrial premieres for it because it just said it released after its VHS rental. So I'm going to take a stab. It came out on TV probably 1985 because it's normally a bit later, isn't it? To come on to UK TV like IT. Because back then we'd have only had BBC One, BBC Two and ITV, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
in the
might
UK.
have had shavings of Channel 4.
When did
I think
4
Channel
come
4
in? Was it 84?
It was somewhere around that time.
there. So we might have even had Channel 4 then. But nothing for its UK TV premiere, I'm afraid, this week, Darren.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. So, excellent top 10 as usual. As
Yes.
usual, well done. So, we've seen the montage, and it's been absolutely brilliant. But we now are watching Paulie, aren't we? And he's in some kind of bar somewhere. And as he's watching the news, it's all about Rocky and his up and coming wrestling match, I think it is. And I think you said it before. He does look very unimpressed. Looks very bitter, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I think this, I'm taking from this scene, I think this is the bar where they used to live, where Rocky used to go round, where Mickey's gym
Okay.
is. Because if you hear them all when he walks out, Paulie, give Rocco our best or give Rocky our best. And this is where he turns, doesn't he? I've been coming in here for years. Why don't you give me, Paulie, your best?
Yes, but nobody's interested in Paulie, are they? And deep down, I think he knows it. And
I think
to me, he's longing for respect.
he is,
But
but they only want to talk to Paulie because he's associated with Rocky.
correct, he's done nothing, so nobody's giving him any respect, and it's really frustrating for him, isn't it?
Of course it is. And then when he's walking out the door, what does he see? A
Uh,
poster of Rocky.
oh right, yes, because he's drinking, isn't he? He's got a
Yeah.
bottle of vodka or gin or whatever it is in his hands, and he goes round to the arcade, and he looks quite happy then at seeing everybody playing these video games.
I think he's a bit like you when you rewatch these films. I think he's a bit giddy, shall we say?
Yes, yeah, I like his style.
Yeah, but I think, like you've said, I think it's because all the kids are having a good time playing on the arcade machines, and I think he's in there, isn't it? The bright lights, as you know, when you go into an arcade machine, arcades, we don't get that anymore like this.
No, you have to go to the seaside, don't you, to get anything?
I would look like that if I walked in an arcade in the 80s. That would be me. I'd be loving every second of it. And then he comes across a Rocky pinball machine, doesn't he?
Yes, and suddenly his mood changes.
But did you also notice what pinball machines were around it?
No, not at all. My eyes were just focused on the Rocky one and what he was going to do.
Well, to his right, there's a Playboy pinball machine. And to his left, the next one on, because I can't quite make out what the one is right next to it. But the one next to that one is Flash Gordon.
Oh, yes. I actually remember the Flash Gordon one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Flash Gordon. Well, Paulie obviously sees the Rocky one, and now he's just filled with rage, isn't he?
Oh,
For Rocky.
his jealousy can't take anymore, and he throws that bottle of whatever he's drinking right into the machine. But to me, I love throughout the Rocky trilogies, they still keep this everyday working class element about it. And it's mainly through Paulie and through Mickey.
Yes, because obviously once he's done this to the machine, he gets arrested.
Yes,
And we next see him slumped in a police cell.
he is.
And then we see the police officer opening the door. And then who do we see?
It's Rocky. He's come to bail him out.
But did you notice how smart he looks?
Yes.
In his long camel coat, his tie with the clip underneath. And Paulie touches on this. Now, I thought when he said it last night, yeah, he's right. You've had all your face fixed up all nice, meaning he's had some sort of work done on his face, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
To make him look smarter. Definitely. Rocky, like we've said in the intro, is more civilised in this one, isn't he?
He is, yes. He's almost like a gentleman.
He is. And obviously the argument then ensues, doesn't it? Because Paulie is having a go at Rocky saying, you move Mickey in, you do this, you do that. What about me? It's all about Paulie, isn't it, to Paulie?
Yeah, Paulie's all about Paulie. And he's ungrateful. He takes that wash off and he throws it on the floor.
Do you remember what watch it was?
One that tells time.
Close. It was an X-Lax watch.
An X-Lax. Is that a cheap watch?
I
Because he
don't
says
know.
this cheap rubbish that you buy me.
Yeah, X-Lax. And then he puts it down, kicks it, and then obviously Rocky goes to pick it up and he says, no, leave it down, doesn't he? And kicks it. And then they're still arguing. Well, Paulie's arguing with Rocky's basically saying, you do nothing for me, you don't give me anything, basically, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And he starts throwing punches.
The heavyweight champion of the world.
Now, can I just break in there and say a little thing about Burt Young? Because his real name
Burt Young, sorry. Yes.
is Gerald Tomaso de Louise. That's his real name.
Okay.
And he changed it to Burt Young as a stage name just to try and get acting kind of things. But in his younger days, he was in the Marines and he was a really good boxer who won 32 out of 34 of his fights.
Did he really?
Yeah. He's all these things that you find out, which are incredible, including he was a painter. and he had his work displayed around the world. He was on TV from 1969, and he owns a restaurant, or he owned a restaurant in the Bronx. But we
I did
love
not know
to
that.
hate him, no way.
But you say that I quite like his character. I think the first two, no, he was horrible in the first two to Adrian. You know what I mean? He
Oh, he
got a bit
was.
better towards the end of two. But I quite like him in this one because I'll touch on it later. He was making me laugh through this, to be honest. Not this first scene. And like you've just said, he's punching Rocky, and Rocky's, to be fair, Rocky doesn't retaliate, does he?
No, he puts
And
him
then-
in his place, doesn't he?
He does, and then doesn't Paulie say, "Can I have a job?" And quite fair to Rocky. Rocky just, why don't you just ask?
Yeah, exactly.
It's his
Because
brother-in-law. Just ask him, have you got anything I can do?
in some ways, I agree, but should he have to ask?
No, Rocky, I
You
don't know.
can see that he's down on his luck, and he is
Yeah.
a mouthy, nasty piece of work who's ungrateful. But he does put him in his place by telling, you think everybody owes you a living. Nobody
does, yeah.
owes nobody nothing. You're just a jealous, lazy bum.
Bum.
And
Yeah.
that's when he asks him, doesn't he? Because
Yeah.
he knows Paula. And can I just say that I grew up with people like Paula, people who constantly waste their lives just complaining and complaining, and they've got nothing to complain about. And I remember seeing this, even when I was that small, there's people in the army, past and present, who go to war, put their lives on the line just to protect our way of living. These men and women in the police force, firefighters, doctors, nurses, are all there to help us. All we have to do is get on with our lives, and you've got all that backup behind you, haven't you? Now, my son's friend really struggles to get a job. He's applied everywhere. Eventually, he's taken a job for just 3 hours a day as a lollipop man. And to anybody who doesn't know what that is, that's the person who stops the traffic so the school children can cross the roads. And I have so much respect for him for doing that, for just trying. And people like Paulie and the ones I grew up with would never do that because they think it's beneath them. They think they deserve better. And like Rocky says, nobody owes nobody nothing. I'm tired after that rant.
Quite a good one, that, Darren. I just kind of thought, don't speak, just let you get this one out. No, but like you say, it is. I get where you're coming from with it. And it's even when he gets in the car. Now, to me, that Maserati is not a very nice looking car to me.
No, I'd never noticed it. Again, I would notice on how smart Rocky looks, a bit like almost like a mafia man.
It looks like Del Boy off Only Fools and Horses, I thought.
Yeah.
But when he gets in, like, the car, and he says to Rocky, it's not his car, but it wasn't cheap. And Rocky says, no, it cost a few bucks. And then he went, you've got a spare one.
Yeah.
So he's wanting the car.
It's so ungrateful. He's always on the make.
It is. And then, obviously, it pans to Rocky and Adrian is on the bed, obviously, and Rocky's serenader with the music that was from the first two, isn't he? I'm not going to sing because I don't want it to be a laughing fit on this one.
No.
So he does the little do 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 do, doesn't he? That sort of music.
Yeah. I thought you don't want me to play Adrian, do you? Do do
No.
do do.
No, we don't. No, I might sound a bit like Rocky, but no, we're not going there. But then they just talking, aren't they? And you can see how much he adores this woman and how much she adores him.
And around him, she always resorts back to this shy little girl,
Yes.
doesn't she?
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, like in the first one.
And it's so innocent, that
Yeah.
relationship between them. It's from Rocky being as brutal as he is in the ring to just this innocent, he wouldn't lay a thing on her.
No, he wouldn't hurt a fly, would he, Rocky?
No. And then we cut to Battle of the Champions, don't we?
Oh,
Where Rocky takes on Thunderlips.
Who is Thunderlips, Darren?
It's Hulk Hogan.
I must admit, in my youth, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of wrestling.
Did you? You know when Sky first come out over here?
Yeah.
That's all that was on.
Yeah, it was, yeah. That's why
And
me and
we
Mum and
never
Dad
had
got
Sky.
Sky. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why they got it, so we could watch it.
I wanted to know what all the fuss was about because everybody seemed to have Sky, but we never had the money. And what's this wrestling thing? The Undertaker? Who's he? Who's the people talking about? And was he on? Was the actual wrestler who was on that?
Yeah, he was the biggest wrestler ever, I think. I think he's one of the most recognisable names, apart from Stone Cold Steve Austin, in wrestling. I think Hulk Hogan is the biggest known wrestler ever. And I've got a quick story on Hulk Hogan, how I remember Hulk Hogan. I remember my daughter finished primary school before she moved to secondary school last July. And I remember they all had a bit of a party on the field just above us, down from the school. I remember they'd all come out of school, and I remember being stood on the field, kicking a football with my son. I remember my watch pinged. I remember just a news story flashed up, and I remember looking at my watch. It's the day that Hulk Hogan died. So
All right.
I remember now, my daughter leaving school, primary school, is the day that Hulk Hogan died. You know how you put things with things?
Yeah, like
That's how I
association.
remember it. So when it was last day of term for my son, who's still at that primary school, when we went to pick him up on the last day, I said to my wife, just a few weeks ago, I said, I remember this time last year when Ava finished. It's the day that Hulk Hogan died. You know how you remember?
Yes.
Because he was a childhood...
Hero, yes.
Yeah, hero, that's the word. Yeah, a childhood hero, larger than life, bigger than life. And that's the day he died. And so when I first watched this, I didn't really know who Hulk Hogan was, obviously, but then we find out who Hulk Hogan was. And I quite like the concept of this, the wrestler versus the boxer.
Oh, yes, but Mickey thinks it's a terrible idea, doesn't he?
Yeah, because obviously, as we find out, Thunderlips is in total character, isn't he? Like wrestlers are, they're over the top, they're in character.
Oh, yes.
And obviously, Rocky, I like this interaction between Rocky, Paulie, and Mickey at the start of this fight.
Yes.
Because aren't they saying nobody does this much for charity? And doesn't Rocky say Bob Hope would?
Yeah, Mickey agrees with him, yes.
Yeah, and when he's coming down the ring, isn't it, so one of them says, Rocky, you need to ring Bob Hope. When they witness this man. And then Paulie says the words, which I actually laughed at last night, when Paulie says, why are they carrying him? They're not carrying him, he's walking. Because he's that big. You know, and obviously, I don't know how tall Stallone is. Is he about 5'8", 5'9", Stallone?
Stallone is 5'10", and Thunderlips is 6'7".
Yes, but they say he's nearly 7 feet, don't they?
Yes.
And they actually say he's 390 pounds.
Yes.
On this. But Hulk Hogan was 6'5", between 300 and 330 pounds. So they're making it that he's bigger than he actually was.
Yes. Yes, they are. Well, for the purpose of the film, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, and also when obviously they come together at the start, when they're looking at each other before this, Rocky actually says, doesn't he, I wonder how much he eats. Doesn't Mickey say 202 pounds?
220 pounds. And then the announcer
220,
says...
that was it. That's Rocky's weight.
Coming in at 220
That was
pounds.
it. Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
And then I thought that was quite funny. And then obviously Thunderlips takes to the mic, and where we work, you know, you've said he reminds you of Sid that used to work at Pine Log.
He does.
Well, to me, we always used to call Kevin Davis Thunderlips the ultimate male, because he was into bodybuilding when he was young, and he used to think he was body beautiful, didn't he, Kev?
Oh, I think he looks more like Paulie now, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, but if Kev, you're listening, we don't take any, you know, it's no offence, but we always used to call you that Thunderlips, the ultimate male. And when they come together, when they're doing the face-off, now they actually stood Hulk Hogan on a box.
Did they really?
So he made him look
Much
near
bigger than what he
7
was.
feet, looking down on Rocky, which I thought was quite clever. But then again, like we've just said with Clubber Lang, Hulk Hogan is a menacing man, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
He's huge.
But then the ref gets them together and says, take it easy and make a good show. And Rocky just kind of thinks, well, we'll turn up and that's it. But when the bell goes, Thunderlips is straight out. And then Rocky's kind of dancing around, isn't he? And he says, we'll do this a bit, we'll move around a bit. But Thunderlips looks in no mood to be messing about.
No, doesn't he say, oh, Bob, I'll follow you for a bit, you follow me for a bit, and then he's jabbing him, isn't he, in the stomach, and he's like, is that okay? Does that feel all right? How's that? Does that feel okay? But I like this, the ring announcer's Tash. I think that's amazing. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, what about Hulk Hogan, Thunderlips as Tash?
Oh, he was known for that, wasn't he, the handlebar Hulk?
He was, yes. They're proper handlebars.
Of course they are. And his hair's a bit similar to mine, Hulk Hogan, to be fair. You know, and they're going around the ring, and like you say, Rocky's thinking this is just going to be a celebrity match.
Yeah, an exhibition.
Yeah, and then he gets hold of him, doesn't he?
Oh, some of the moves that he does. You know what? There's one move that makes me wince every time I see it. Every time.
Backbreaker.
It is. It's where he picks Rocky up and slams him down over his knee. You can see the spine bend. I'm surprised. I don't know if that is Sylvester Stallone or whether it's a stunt double, but how that person never broke his back, I don't know. No CGI in those days, kids.
No, I looked at this last night and I was purposely looking to see if it was Stallone. I think Stallone does do a few of these stunts.
Oh, I bet he does.
I think Stallone does, he suplexes him, he picks him up and he falls back with him. That's a suplex.
Oh, yes, that one as well.
I paused it. That, I think, is Sylvester Stallone because the body physique of him is Stallone. So
Yeah.
I think that's Stallone taking that hit. And I wouldn't put it past Sylvester Stallone to do it.
Yeah, he's crazy like that, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
He's a bit like Tom Cruise. He does the stunts he does. It's
Yeah.
crackers.
And then, obviously, I like the bit where Mickey shouts to him, "Run for your life." And he's just throwing him into the turnbuckle, as they call it. He's kneeing him and all the audience are going, oh. Then it is actually Stallone that he does the hip toss move, where he throws him over his hip.
Is it?
That is Stallone. So,
Wow.
so he must have done a fair few of his own stunts in this. I think the only one he didn't do was where he picks him above his head and throws him into the crowd.
That's incredible what he does then, isn't it?
Yeah.
What kind of stunt people? How do they land? How do they not break bones?
Don't get me wrong, I've not really watched wrestling properly for years, but I'll give props to wrestlers. They always say it is fake, but you've got to know how to fall.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
But, and then...
And amongst this, Mickey looks like he's in a bit of a trouble now. He's kind of clutching his chest.
Yes.
But we quickly pass that, don't we?
Yeah.
Because Thunderlips has gone absolutely crackers. And he throws the ref to the ground. He assaults 3 police officers. He's jumping into the crowd looking for Rocky. The guy's absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah. It's quite comical to watch. And then, obviously, I like this next bit where he's saying to Paulie, "Get my gloves off."
Yeah.
Why? And he's going, "Cut my gloves off." And do you know the bit that made me smile when he pulls out the flick knife?
Yeah. He's taking that into a boxing
flick knife.
arena.
And then, obviously, like I say, Mickey's looking a bit in distress and everyone's throwing all the rubbish into the ring. And then, he, like I say, he jumps out after him. And then Rocky runs past Mickey. And doesn't Mickey say, "What are you doing? You're a madman."
Yeah.
And he gets back in the ring. And this is where Rocky now thinks, right, you've hit me, so I'm going to hit you.
And
So
you can see some of them hurt, don't they? Because
Yeah,
the gloves are off now.
yeah, he's hitting him. And then, obviously, he jumps on his back and he's choking him down, isn't he?
Now, just before that, I love it where he picks Rocky up by the throat and Paulie gets a chair, doesn't he? He
brilliant.
smashes
That's
it on his back
Yeah.
and he turns round and looks at Paulie and he says, "I ain't afraid of you."
I don't sweat you, doesn't he? And then he just drops him in one punch, doesn't he?
But he squares up to Thunderlips like he's going to box him.
Yeah. And then, like you say, then Rocky gets him down to one knee, and this is where then obviously Rocky lets him have it, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, yes.
And you can hear Mickey then shouting, "The body, the body, the body," like knock his block off. And then Stallone, to be fair, actually picks him up, doesn't he, to throw him out the ring.
Oh, he does.
Now, if you watch wrestlers when they do this, and I've since learned this looking back for trivia on this, when a wrestler picks another wrestler up for that body slam move, it's where they position the hands. They push off your leg to get the leverage so you can throw them over.
Okay.
So they give you the leverage to push. Now, with Hogan being as big as he is, he actually runs and jumps into Stallone's arms. So
Does he?
that's how he gets him up. And then you see him push off Stallone for Stallone to get the leverage to throw him over the top rope.
Right.
So he's obviously helping Stallone to do what he
up.
needs to do, to pick him up. And then he goes out the ring, and then they all jump in the ring, don't they, to stop this.
Yes.
But other than that, we see Clubber Lang, don't we, just walk out.
He's doesn't want to know
disgusted.
about all this. Yeah.
No, he's disgusted with this. And so then they get them in the ring and they calm them down. And once it's calm, then Hulk Hogan, real name Terry Bollea, that's his proper name, then calms down, doesn't he?
He's a really
back to
nice
normal.
chap.
Yeah, and then, like, when Rocky says, "Oh, can we get a Polaroid?" He's,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
And you can see Adrian looking at him as if to say, he's a nutcase.
And did you see how much they raised?
Yes. Oh, how much was it? Remind me.
It was 75,000
That
for
was it.
a
Yeah.
local youth club.
Yeah, and that's where Rocky says to him, doesn't he? "Why'd you go nuts out there?" And obviously Hogan says, "That's the name of the game."
Yes.
So you watch any boxing fight now, which I'll touch on again, just saying the names. If you watch Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, when they're selling this fight, they're going to be over the top blasé, aren't they?
Of course they are.
That's what wrestlers do. They're over the top. They sell it.
Show business.
Yeah, and that's what boxing has now become. Show
I
business.
suppose it does, yeah.
Yeah, so they get the Polaroid and Adrian's just looking at Thunder Lips, a bit gone out. And obviously they raise the money. Then we see Rocky and, is it Robert? The kid's name, is it Rocky Jr. or Robert, I think?
Yes, they're at home, aren't they? Are
Yeah,
they
in his
having
little
breakfast?
car. He's in the car. That
Oh,
little
is it?
car.
Yes, that's it.
And how cool, I mean, it's an old-fashioned car, but back in the 80s, how cool would it have been to have one of those in your house?
True, yes.
It's a bit
No.
Mary Poppins-ish, but as a kid, you wouldn't have minded that.
Oh, definitely. But then do we see Rocky at breakfast with Paula?
Yes, so Paulie's obviously moved in, so he's got what he wanted.
He has. But typical Paulie, he's sat there in his vest and he's picking some horses out for a bet. And
Yeah.
Rocky, because Rocky's got an engagement, hasn't he? He's got to go and unveil the statue of himself outside the Philadelphia Museum. But Paulie, he never changed. He never comes out of character. He's still this scruffy fella who hangs around in his dirty vest. And he, when Rocky went, he's asking Rocky's son, so what do you think in the fifth?
Yeah, what did he say? We've got a problem in the fifth. But when Rocky's walking out, did you notice how many times he pats the kid on the head? Paul.
No, I didn't. I know.
He was just constantly just patting him on the head. And then they go obviously to the, I think is it the Philadelphia Spectrum? It's like a museum, isn't it?
Yeah.
They call it. And then they go to this ceremony. And at first, if you didn't know, you're wondering what's going on. But they're obviously honouring Rocky, aren't they?
Yes. And when they unveil it, he looks a bit kind of speechless. It doesn't look, I can't work out whether he likes it or not.
It was Stallone.
Yeah.
I think it's shock. I think he's shocked that they've done this for him.
Yeah. But he looks good.
Oh, do you know when they finished the film, they offered it to the museum. And do you know what the museum said?
Well, hopefully snatch their hands off.
No, they didn't. They said they didn't want it because they don't want movie props in their museum. But they all said, he runs up the steps. That's what them steps are famous for. That's why people come to these steps.
Yes, and I suppose it brings in revenue, doesn't it?
It does.
Film goers.
Now, I've never been. I would love to go.
Oh, yeah.
If you get to the top of the steps, it's 2 feet, isn't there, that you can stand on?
I don't know. Is that
Same size feet as Rocky's. And that's the place where he puts his arms up.
Ah.
So you stand in the identical spot that Sylvester Stallone stands in.
Oh, I bet the queue goes all the way down the steps for that.
Yeah, it does. So touching back onto the statue, they said they didn't want it. So it went into storage for a long time. And then obviously because Stallone got big and Rocky got big, they've put it back. It's not at the top of the steps. It's just to the corner.
Okay.
And it's cordoned off. So it is there now for everybody to see. Which it should be. It should be.
It should be.
I think.
It's a bit of a shame having a museum that doesn't want a prop,
Yeah.
which is what people come to look at. But
Exactly. And then obviously we see now that Rocky's speaking and he's telling them that he's going to retire.
yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's retired in every film he's ever been in, hasn't
Of course he has. In the end of this one, it's his last fight, no matter what. And then he does 4, 5 and 6.
he? And then who appears?
Clubber.
Yes, and he's Clubbers. If this is his first acting scene, Mr. T is really good. Does with his vocal and his the way he says things. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
and then it's when he starts insulting Adrian because he knows that's the way to get to Rocky.
Because Mickey's walked off at this point, as in Mickey wants no part of this. Because at first Mickey's shooting him down, saying you're getting no shot. You get no shot at the title. And Rocky's like, I want to fight this guy. And Mick's like, you can, but not with me. He wants no part of this. So then obviously Mickey walks away. As Mickey, like you've just touched on, then he says about Adrian. Now, do you know on the premiere of this film, when it premiered, Mr. T took his mum to the premiere.
He took his mum, big fella like that, taking his mum.
Ah, well, you're going to like this bit of a story then. His mum's a really devoted Christian, and she brought him up to respect women, not speak badly to women. As menacing as he looks, he's supposed to be a really nice guy, obviously because that's how he's been brought up. So when his mum saw him talking to Adrian that way, saying obviously come back to my apartment and this, that and the other, she was that disgusted with him, she got up and left the premiere.
No
She
way.
said to him when she got outside, "You do not talk to women like that. Even in films or whatever, you do not disrespect women." And that's why he never did films with love scenes or anything like that.
Just in case he had
Just
to
because
say
of his mum,
something.
yeah. Anything that he had to say. That's why he didn't do many, should we say, actiony films where because his mum didn't like him. Obviously in the A-Team, he's protecting women and people. So that was fine.
Because in the A-Team, his main beef was about flying. Ain't got
Yeah.
no planes, sucker. Used to
They
say
give him
that a lot, didn't
cheeseburger, didn't they? And he'd wake up somewhere else. How have I got here? I don't know.
Get on no
Yeah.
plane, fool.
So his mum, fair play to her, she says, "You do not speak to women like that in a film or in life." And like I say, but supposedly, out of character, he was the nicest person. But in this, he supposedly stayed in character, I've read.
Right.
And so when he was not acting, if they wanted him to drink or anything, he'd speak like Clubber Lang. And I think he rubbed a few people the wrong way, but Stallone told him to keep doing it,
Yes.
to stay in that character. Don't lose the edge of the character.
Very good. So, like you said, Mickey storms off and the ceremony ends and Rocky chases back to the house, doesn't he? And him and Mickey have it out then.
Yeah.
And this is where Rocky's told a few home truths. And I think you said earlier, he tells him he can't win. What does he say? He's a wrecker machine and will knock you into tomorrow.
Now, Rocky, to be fair to Rocky, Rocky's had 10 title defences. He says this, doesn't he? I've had 10 title defences. And Mickey says they were hand-picked. So if you hear that as a boxer, you'd be like, what? And you can kind of see where Rocky's going when he wants to fight. Like, I want to fight him. I want to see if I can do it. But like Mickey says, it was my job to protect you.
Yes.
To set him up, you know, with the money and everything.
And just while we're on this point, can we just say a few things about Burgess Meredith? Because Burgess Meredith as Mickey is absolutely incredible. And I was looking at a few things on Burgess Meredith because I remember watching him in the old Twilight Zones, which I've mentioned numerous times through these podcasts. And in the 60s, he was in Batman and he played the Penguin as well.
That's where I remember him from.
But before all this, he was actually a captain in the US Air Force in World War II. And he had an astonishing acting career. He was in everything. And his delivery is absolutely brilliant as Mickey.
I think Mickey's the only one that can talk to Rocky like this.
Do you think he looks at him as a father figure?
Yeah, I think Rocky looks at him as a dad, and I think Mickey looks at Rocky as a son.
Yeah.
Personally, that's the bit I take from it. And Rocky's doing his best, isn't he? Come on, just one more. We don't need it. We don't want it. We don't need it. And then Rocky's telling him, isn't he?
Yeah.
I do. So I think when Rocky says that, I think Mick backs down, doesn't he? And think, right.
He does.
Let's
He
do
wears
it.
him down.
One more and we're done.
One more. But then Rocky's back in training, isn't he?
Oh, this isn't training, Darren. This is like
A freak show.
Yeah, it is. It's like they're selling all
publicity
sorts of,
stunt.
merchandise, this, that, and other. And they got who's the guy singing in the corner?
I don't know.
Who's clapping his hands and singing? That's Stallone's brother, Frank Stallone.
Is he?
Yeah.
Him who we knocked out in the montage.
Yeah, but he's been in the other films as well. He was in 2. He was the one that's singing around the fire pit. Stallone keeps his family in this quite a bit, which I think is quite good.
I'm going to have to look a little bit closer.
And there's another family member in this in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute when we just touch on this. So obviously Adrian's walking around, isn't she? And everyone's trying on headgear. You can't train in this.
No. And Mickey just wants to go back to the old gym, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And do it properly.
When Stallone's on the exercise bike and a woman asks him for a kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I don't know. Some woman asking him, just random.
That's Sylvester Stallone's first wife.
Is it?
That's his wife. Where they were filming this, that was Sylvester Stallone's wife.
I can think of the scene, but I can't picture. It was just another one of them events that happened. But
I like that. Do you know why I like that scene? Because I like Mickey's comeback. And he says to him, "What is this? Clubber ain't going to kiss you. He's going to kill you." And then Rocky leans in to kiss Mickey, doesn't he?
Yes, and it keeps cutting back to Clubber and his training methods, which he's totally focused, isn't he? No distractions whatsoever.
That's old school training. That's what Apollo tries to get Rocky to do later, isn't it?
Yes.
It's proper, no nonsense, nothing fancy, just dingy gyms. And like we said, he's hungry. He wants this.
Oh, And I love it when it goes back and Mickey tells the band to be quiet. And they're playing the Rocky tune and he says, change your tune.
Yeah, yeah, it's brilliant.
And then
That bit is quite well done.
it is, because it seems to be, is it like in the lobby area of a hotel? It's
Yes.
something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. And
But then it's fight time, isn't it?
yeah, we cut to Clubber in the dressing gown. He wants to be alone. He's not happy. And Rocky's quiet. He's talking to the media, isn't he? Saying this is the last one. And what are you going to do when it's all over? I think we're going to join the circus, doesn't he say?
Yeah. But Clubber's getting really angry and unchangeable, especially with the reporters.
Do you know what made me smile with this? And if you look behind Rocky and Mick when they're talking, there's Adrian and there's Paulie. Paulie's smoking a cigarette in the locker room where Rocky's just about to go out and fight.
All right.
So you think...
I think you're going on, like, you look at it to today's standards, which you wouldn't do that. But back then, you were weird if you didn't smoke, especially in the 60s.
Definitely. And like you say, and then I like this bit because then it cuts to Apollo Creed. And Apollo's saying, they're asking Apollo, aren't they, the commentators, who's going to win? He says, I think the strength goes to the challenger, but the hardest head goes to Rocky Balboa. And then don't they say to him, do you think Rocky can punch that hard? And he says, why do you think I'm sat out here?
Yeah. Oh, Carl Weathers, his wit, his charm, his look is just brilliant.
Yeah.
But we've mentioned that before in Predator, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And I think this bit for me, obviously we know why they do it. Obviously they're all going out to the ring, but the two fighters come together coming down the stairs, which probably wouldn't happen, would it?
No. And there's a lot of pushing and shoving, but he's absolutely 100% focused, isn't he, Clubber Lang?
Definitely. Yeah,
and he races down them stairs to get to Rocky.
Yeah, you need that as a fighter. You need that edge, don't you? And the one bit I took from this is they're both shouting. They haven't got boxing gloves on.
I'd have noticed.
Either of them have got boxing gloves. And obviously, as Clubber's coming down the stairs to get to Rocky, he shoves Mickey out of the way, doesn't he? Don't he shout, get out of the way, old man?
Yes.
And obviously this is obviously where Mickey is obviously suffering a heart attack, isn't he?
Yeah, and they don't know at first because the police are kind of trying to break everybody up. And I think it's Adrian, isn't it? She notices. And then she shouts Rocky and they both go to him.
Yeah. And then obviously they're getting back into the dressing room. And quite rightly, Rocky's distressed. You would be, because this is like we've just touched on. This is like his dad.
Yeah, it tells him the fight's off.
Yeah, but all the press and cameramen are trying to get into to the dressing room. And
as they always do.
Fending him off. And Rocky tells him to, like, sit down, take a breath, sit down. And Mick's down, I'm all right. And this is the bit where you see the vulnerability, I think, of Rocky, because he does not know what to do.
Yeah, and he asks Adrian, and Mickey finds some strength from somewhere to get really angry. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, he says. Get out there.
Yeah, all these years, you're telling me you don't know what to do. And even he's shouting at Paul, isn't he, what do I do? What do I do? He doesn't know what to do. And then Mickey tells him to get out there and fight. And he doesn't want to fight, does he, Rocky?
No, there's no way he's in the right frame of mind, because he's totally worried about Mickey.
Yeah. And then obviously they get him to the ring, and obviously as he's walking out, he just keeps saying to Adrian, doesn't he, take care of him.
Yes.
Take care of him. And this is the first time you actually see Adrian look a bit concerned, don't you?
Oh,
because she's just like, oh no. And obviously he's not well. And then they get them to the ring.
Yes, and the ring announcer introduces Apollo Creed to the ring to greet the two fighters. But when Creed approaches Clubber Lang doesn't want to know. And he kind of throws insults at Apollo. Now, I did read, and you probably may know this, that the insults and that look on Apollo's face were real, because Stallone did mention that the two did not get on. The two actors did not get on. And for me, I'll be back in Carl Weathers all day long. But then again, Mr. T was a real-life bodyguard. And he was a bodyguard to the likes of Muhammad Ali and Michael Jackson.
Yes.
So this fella's the real deal.
Of course he is. And I think I like when he says to him, get out my face. I don't want you. What does he say? Get out my face. I don't want what you've got no more or something.
Yeah, he's so insulted.
Yeah, he is. And then they say, do you want to jump? Jump. And he's kind of goading him, isn't he, to kind of come for him.
Oh.
And you can see Apollo's face looking at him as if to say, oh, I'd like to fight you. And then he walks up to Rocky, doesn't say, do everyone a favour and drop this jump.
Yes.
But Rocky is in no state to fight. He isn't. And can I just say, just before we get into this, out of all the Rocky films, this is the best look, I think, of Rocky. You know, the yellow boots, the yellow trunks, the yellow gloves, the stallion on the ring mat.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah.
I love this. Now, I've got a pair. Now, I'm surprised you're not asking me what trainers everybody's wearing, because everybody's wearing Nike Cortez trainers.
Again, another film with Nike Cortez.
Cortez. They were famous in the 80s, Cortezes. So I've got a pair of Nike Cortezes, the same as Rocky's boots, yellow with a black tick on it. And I call them my Rocky 3 Cortezes. Now, I don't wear them if it's raining or been raining. I very rarely wear them, only wear them if it's bright sunshine.
Okay.
And I get so many comments on these trainers. And I say to everyone, they're my Rocky 3 trainers. And everybody's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, everyone believes it.
What, do they think they come off the set or something?
No, they think they're the Nike Rocky 3 Cortezes.
Ah.
See, but can we also just take a moment to admire Sylvester Stallone's physique in this?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Do you know how he got this physique for this film?
He must have had to train. How do you train like that, as well as write and direct and star in a film? Where do you find the time?
I don't know, but his training regime for this film was he'd run 2 miles in the morning, and then he'd do 2 hours of weight training. And then after that, he'd go on to 18 rounds of sparring, and then he'd do more weight training, and then he'd finish the day off with a swim. And that was every day.
Well, where does he get time to actually
I think that was
film?
the lead up to the film. I think that was the lead up. And I think he cut his body weight. Supposedly they say, and looking into it, they all say this isn't humanly possible. But the talk was that he got his body fat down to 2.8% for this. And his actual weight was 155 pounds. So they said he trimmed everything away just to look this good. And then you think of this, after he finished filming this, what film did he go on to do after this?
I don't know.
Rambo First Blood.
Oh, of course, yes.
So
And yeah, it's very similar,
shredded,
isn't it?
Yeah, he was this shredded down for Rambo. But obviously, just getting back, personally, this is my favourite attire for Rocky, the yellow and the black. I think it's brilliant.
It does look good.
It does. So now we get to the fight, and obviously the referee brings them together. You can see Rocky's not there, is he?
He can't look him in the eye, can he?
He's scared. He's scared. I'm taking him. He's mine. He's mine. He knows he's got him.
He said, what does he say to him? Dead meat.
Yeah, Rocky doesn't say anything. He's just, like you say, he just looks away.
Oh, and that's it. They go to the corners, the bell ring, Rocky comes out, and he looks pretty good at the beginning, doesn't he? And he's punching to the body and the head. But it doesn't seem to have any effect on Clubber. He's just taking it, almost toying with him.
He is, but you seem to forget Rocky is renowned for being a puncher, isn't he?
Yes, a slugger.
So when Rocky hits him, there's got to be some force behind it. But like you say, he takes everything, and I think Rocky at that point is just thinking, oh, to hell with it, just go for it. So he just tries to get him out there quickly, because Mick says, doesn't he, before everything happened, don't trade with him, stay away from him. He's never been 15 rounds.
Yes.
So the plan there was to take him 15 rounds, but Rocky's just trying to get him out there as quick as he possibly can. And then obviously Clubber hits him, and then it's game over.
The ferocity that he throws them punches is absolutely unbelievable. And the speed. And fair play to the actors and how real it makes it look. It's just
I was just
incredible.
about to say that. How they choreographed this. Because it's brilliant. The fight sequence of both fights, phenomenal to remember these. Because they're both totally different fights, aren't they? The first and the second.
Yes.
So to be able to remember this and not, I think Mr. T actually connected a few times, didn't he, on Stallone, supposedly?
Did he really?
Which you're going to do, I think. But he's just absolutely. But what I like about this, he's talking to him. Come on, Balboa. Come on, Balboa. Is that all you got? Make me wait. Come on. He's hitting him, isn't he? He's just belittling him.
He's like a Muhammad Ali kind of character, isn't he? Total confidence.
And then they get into the corner, don't they? The round ends. And Rocky's done.
He's lost, isn't he? He's lost without Mickey in his corner. He doesn't know what to do. And then the bell goes for round 2.
But he's saying, isn't it, in the corner? Where's Mick? I need Mick. Where's Mick? And Rocky and Paulie's saying to him, come on, Rocco, just got him. He's saying, I'm losing it, Paulie. I can't get him off. He's too strong. I can't get him off.
He's in trouble.
So he knows he's done.
Yeah. And then, the bell rings for round 2, and this is where Rocky takes an absolute massive hammering against this ferocious fighting machine.
He's given up.
And
He knows he can't win. He's given up, hasn't he?
And you know what? I remember watching it in the past, but I found it a little bit difficult to watch this scene because there's one bit where Rocky, his arms are down and he's just looking at Clubber Lang, and Clubber Lang puts everything behind this incredible punch, and it's just a free shot, and that can kill people.
Yeah. He's not interested in that. He just wants to get him down. But at this point, like we've just said, Rocky's given up. He just wants him to knock him out. He just wants them to knock him out.
Now Clubber is the new heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And straight after the fight, Rocky rushes down to see Mickey, doesn't he?
My least favourite bit of this film.
Oh, because Rocky...
It's heartbreaking.
It's
heartbreaking. As old as we are, even watching it back last night, you can feel yourself welling a little bit.
And he's kind of lying to Mickey in a way, because Mickey's asking him, what round? 2. He's telling him 2. He doesn't want to tell him that he's lost.
He says knockout, doesn't he? He says knockout, but he doesn't say to who.
Yeah, if that's going to be Mickey's last breath, he wants him to be happy, doesn't he?
What does he say? His last breath. What does he actually say?
I don't know. You know what? I've rewound, and I can't understand what he's actually saying.
He says, "I love you, kid.
Oh.
I love you, kid." And that's the bit you're like, oh wow. I mean, if you're invested in these films like we are, it gets you. It gets you, this one. And then obviously he takes a few breaths, and then he's gone. And then you just see Rocky break down, don't you?
Oh, you know the acting there?
Yeah.
It's like it was real. Bloody hell, I have to control myself now.
It's like an animal screaming, isn't it, Rocky? It's like an animal shrieking. And then I think the bit I like about it, even Paulie, as bad as Paulie is, you can see he's physically like, oh no.
Yeah.
And Adrian, they're all, it's...
But his acting's still on there. It's like he's lost his own family member. It's like I said, heartbreaking. And he needs time to mourn them, because they have Mickey's funeral, don't they?
But did you notice, and I noticed, obviously, we can't go by date. This film was released in 82, and on Mickey's plaque, he said, was it 1940? What was it, 1946? Was it 46 or 36?
Well, I missed that.
Hang on, I'll tell you in a minute. I wrote it down. Because they do that, and then, but it said 1981.
Ah.
On his, on the plaque. So,
okay.
I was like, I says, Mickey Goldmill, April 7th, 1905, August 15th, 1981.
Wow.
And then
Never noticed.
And so I'm thinking, so they didn't keep the date to the date of the film, which is fair enough. But then we see Rocky going back, don't we, to where he used to live. He's on the bridge.
Yeah, he's lost, isn't he? And he starts riding around the city, and eventually stops at the statue. And I can't understand this bit. Why does he throw his motorcycle helmet at his own statue?
Because he's ashamed of who he was, I think. Because I think he blames boxing for taking Mickey. That's what I think. I think he's ashamed of himself, what happened. And he couldn't save Mickey.
I think that's a good explanation. That's a good explanation. It's almost like boxing took Mickey away. If it wasn't for Rocky, he may still be in the gym and just training up and coming fighters. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I took from that. So, and then he goes back to the gym, doesn't he? Mickey's gym.
Now, is it me, or do you again get really sentimental when you see the sign Mighty Mickey's boxing gym?
Yeah, I think everyone just goes to Philadelphia for the steps and that gym, don't they?
Oh, do
it's
they?
Like the Ghostbusters house. I think it's still the sign's still there.
You know what? All these scenes, like you've just said, they leave a massive, massive lump in your throat. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm glad I never had any 2-drink snack of choice, because there wouldn't be any room in my throat for the lump that I had in it.
It does get you, like I've just said a few times. It does, even me. It got me last night again, and I knew it was coming, and it gets you. But then, like I say, he walks into Mick's gym and he punches the speedball, doesn't he?
Yes.
And
but who's there? Who's waiting for him?
That's not right. Step into it. And
yes.
Apollo Creed.
And I kind of do think it's a bit soon but he says, I'm here for business. And you think, well, hang on a minute, Rocky's still mourning. He's not in the right frame of mind. He wants to train Rocky, doesn't he?
Yeah. He says maybe we can get it back together.
And maybe this is Apollo's own beef with Clubber, that he wants to get him back into the ring as soon as possible.
But it also shows you that from obviously the second one to this one, Rocky and Apollo they wasn't friends. You know.
True, yes.
So there's no friendship there. So, and then we see obviously Paulie, Apollo, Rocky and Adrian watching the TV where Clubber, they're announcing the rematch. And he says Balboa is no rematch, it'll be easy work.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? And
so insulting.
It is. And then you see like Apollo say to Rocky, you're going to owe me a favour at the end of this.
Yes, I like that little thing because you don't think of anything at first, and then he mentions it again later on, and it makes you a little bit inquisitive, thinking, what is this favour?
Yeah, they do. But also, the bit I took from this, now they say that can Balboa make a comeback? Do you remember what age they said he was at this point?
Oh, 34?
34. Now I'm thinking 34 is not old. Not old, all right, you might be coming towards the end, but obviously now boxers go like the heavyweight champion in the world, Alexander Usyk's 40.
Well, I suppose so, yeah.
And he's beating everybody. So
but they don't move like these move.
no, they don't hit like these hit, do they, I suppose? But then, obviously, then we see them leaving the house again. And they're saying bye to the son, which they have very little to do with, really, do they, to be fair?
True.
Yeah, because they leave him again in Rocky 4.
And they leave for California, don't they?
Yeah, but boxers and athletes do this. This is the commitment, isn't it?
Yes.
It's touching back to Hulk Hogan, wrestlers, they openly say that they're on the road something like 310 days of the year or 320 days of the year. Wow. They don't see their family. They go home for probably a day and then they're gone again. So that's the sacrifice that they sports people make to be the best.
But they do arrive in this very poor neighbourhood. And again, it does very much remind me of where I grew up. But this is where Apollo started boxing. And can you remember what Apollo's boxing gym was?
But can you remember what the hotel was called just quickly before that?
Oh, you know you. No, I can't.
Hotel Lorraine.
Hotel Lorraine? What kind of name is that?
Lorraine. Hotel Lorraine.
Okay.
Can't get that out. Don't know why I can't get that out, but that's it, yeah. The boxing gym was Tough Gym 233.
Do you know you?
What?
Nothing.
Well, you tried to catch me out with that one, Dan.
But Paulie doesn't like it, does he?
Oh, he's brilliant at this.
He feels really unsafe.
What does he say when he walks to the hotel just quickly and then blokes are having... And he goes, I haven't even got a gun. Walks in, doesn't it? And then I like the bit where he's in... Is it the gym or somewhere? When he says, I don't like these people. And does Rocky say to him, these people might like you? What have I done to them? Straight defensive, isn't he?
So self-centered.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody else has got the problem bar him. But it is very intimidating in that gym. But Apollo's trainer comes, Tony Duke Evers, I think he's called.
That's him. You've got him. Hold on.
And he takes Apollo to meet all the other boxers, and they treat him like a god. And so they treat Rocky like a god as well, which is great respect, great things to see. That just leaves Paulie and Adrian on their own, and Paulie's just scared to death.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in there at all, does he?
Not at all. And then the training starts. But Rocky, he can't even bounce in time, can he?
No, because I think they always said, didn't they, about Rocky, he didn't have the best movement. He was just basically a punching bag with no footwork, didn't he? So I think this bit is quite good because they're touching on that he hasn't got footwork.
Yes.
He hasn't got coordination. The movement, he hasn't got it.
No.
So I think this is quite clever because now they're putting it into him, aren't they?
They are. And then they take him swimming, don't they, to try and improve his stamina.
He looks slow. He looks like me swimming.
Oh, yeah. Well, not that I've ever seen you swimming. Sight of you in budgie smugglers can turn a man, can put a man off his food.
Put me off my food, let alone any man. But also, the bit I like is who's always watching over him.
Adrian.
Adrian. She doesn't say anything though.
But
She can see something's not right here.
Would you have her there?
No.
You wouldn't,
my
would
wife
you?
There. No, not at all. Not in those gyms with all them big sweaty men looking at her now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So anyway, it does cut to the night, and I do like it when these two drunks outside and they wake Paulie up, does it? And he shouts down to him, "I'll squash you. There's
Do you
no
remember what he
class."
calls them? Do you know what he calls them?
No,
Shut up, you sterno bums. Whatever a sterno bum is, I don't know.
no idea.
I've got a clue.
But it
And
tells
he
them
does.
they've
I'll
got no
squash you.
class.
Yeah. He's always above everybody else, isn't he, Paulie?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. I love Paulie's character. I think he's great. But then it cuts to Duke and Apollo watching the footage back of the first fight, and they both say the same thing, don't they?
Yes.
That club is strong. And I like the bit where Apollo says, the pace we've got to set Rock at, he can only go 6 or 7 rounds, then he's out of steam.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of him early on.
Got to get rid of him early. And looking at it, you think, how's he going to do that? But then it cuts back to Rocky, and he's hearing all these things in his head. He doesn't want to be there, does he?
No, not at all.
He's not there at all.
And they are actually in the apartment, in Rocky's apartment. And it really reminds me of the old days when Rocky and Adrian first got together. Because it's kind of a grotty apartment, isn't it?
She doesn't complain. That's what I like about Adrian. She doesn't complain.
True, actually. Yeah,
She
doesn't.
says, doesn't she? She says to him, we never really had a honeymoon. So she's looking at that like it's a break for them.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then we're back in the gym and he's trying to bounce. Is it a squash ball or something?
I think so, yes. But he's got no coordination whatsoever.
No.
And then he's sparring with Apollo, isn't he? And this is where Apollo loses his temper and saying he's not trying at all. But there again, there's only 2 people that can get through to Rocky. Mickey and Adrian. And Mickey's not there anymore, is he?
No, because you look when he's moping around the ring trying to keep up with Apollo before they start sparring. He's constantly looking at Adrian. He's looking at Adrian as if to say, help me, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can see that's basically what he's saying. Help, get me out of here.
Yes.
I don't want to be here. And then, like you say, when he's hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, he's saying he's got 2 hands. He's got 2 hands. And he says, doesn't it, you think I was tough? You want to live in the hospital for 6 weeks this time? This bum will kill you or something, don't he basically say? This chump will kill you.
He does. And we're all thinking the same, aren't we?
Yeah.
What's wrong? But we know what's wrong. It's Mickey and the fact that he's scared to go in that ring, but he doesn't admit it yet.
No. And it's a big thing for him to admit, I think, as we get to that.
Oh, definitely.
So then we next see Rocky then looking into the mirror and he's looking at himself, isn't he? And he like punches the walls when he hears Apollo's voice saying, there is no tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, he does. But how can he get it back? How can he get it back? What does he need?
I don't know. Then we see them running on the beach.
Now, I like this bit because, first of all, I just want to ask a question. Why has Apollo's top shrunk in the wash?
This screams 80s, Darren.
Or is he wearing his son's top?
I think this is what they did. If you notice, really high shorts, really high socks, and very high tops. It's not the look I'd go for, but if I had a physique like them two, and then they set off running, so they're having a race, aren't they, to try and get Rocky's speed up.
Yes. But Rocky, he can't run, can he?
No.
He's still got Mickey going through his head.
Because he says, doesn't he, just before he starts to run, Mickey never had me do this.
No.
Doesn't
yes.
he? So then they run.
And he beats him easy, doesn't he, Apollo? And then when he crosses the line, he says, it's over. It's over. And this is where Adrian then has to go and talk to him.
Yeah, and I like this bit. This is probably one of my favourite bits on the film because she's quite calm when she speaks to him. She doesn't really have a go at him, does she? She just says, what's going on?
Yes. And then she kind of gets a bit more animated.
Yeah.
And she kind of prizes out the real reason what it is.
Yeah, he basically tries to bluff it at first, doesn't he? He says, there's you, there's the kid, I don't want to lose what I got. Well, years ago, it didn't matter what happened to me. Now I'm worried what's going to happen. And she basically says, that's not it. What is it? She says, doesn't she say, we've got cars, we've got money, we've got everything but the truth.
Yes.
What's the truth?
Good line.
It is brilliant. And then he basically just comes out with it, which I think he's ashamed to say, isn't it? I'm afraid.
Yeah, because you're telling your wife you're afraid. And that's a lot of things, men don't do that, do they?
Yeah, and she's quite good. She says, it's all right to be afraid. He says, for you it is, for me it isn't. Which is fair play, because he's a boxer, isn't he? You shouldn't be afraid.
No, not at all. And that is the bit, that is the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because after that, Rocky and Apollo are back in trading. And this time, Rocky's really trying hard.
But she says, doesn't she, just before that, it's all down to Adrian again. She says it's all right to be afraid. And then he basically says, doesn't he, well, if I try and I lose, and she says, so you lose, so what? You give it a go, and you can live with that. You know you've tried. If you don't try, you'll never live with yourself. But if you try and lose, so what?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's a massive life lesson.
Of course it is. And then, like you say, then we see Apollo and Rocky then running down the beach again. This is where it starts. The music, the
Yes,
training. Now he's focused. Now he's into it.
and he's definitely up for it, isn't he? And this is where Rocky beats him on the beach, doesn't he?
Yeah, but before, obviously they have a few races and Apollo keeps winning. But then the dancing around the ring, he's getting the footwork, he's getting the speed, isn't he?
Yes.
He's getting everything. And then it all just, at the end, comes together, the swimming, everything. When he's hitting that speed bag at the end, he's hitting that, isn't he?
Oh, into.
And then when he's doing the sparring with Apollo, he gets Apollo in the corner, spins him round, and then they're all like brilliant. And then we see him pull Paulie, don't we, when he's finished swimming at the end into the swimming pool.
Yeah, that was good, that. I like that.
That bit. And then we're back racing again. But the bit I like the sequence where they're both dancing in front of the mirror and they're both doing it in time. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, yes, that's very good. Yeah,
Very
I remember
good.
that. I remember
And then-
thinking, where's he get his moves from? Because these are not boxing moves.
No, and then the sprinting again down the beach, and this time Rocky wins. And then that sets up
Oh,
the
yes.
rematch.
At Madison Square Garden.
What a place.
Yes.
What a place.
But this, when you see the Madison Square Gardens, it reminds me of some brilliant memories in the 80s of watching boxing on TV on a Sunday morning. And I remember seeing the likes of Mike Tyson, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and my favourite, which was always Sugar Ray Leonard, who reminds me of Apollo Creed. And the fights would be on a Saturday night, but they would be repeated on a Sunday morning in the UK. And it was brilliant. You didn't know because the papers didn't come out in time and it wasn't on the radio. So you just got up on a Sunday morning and watched these immense fights. And they were like the Rocky fights.
Yeah, they were good fights back then. Really good.
But getting up on a Sunday morning, watching them, then taking the video back, I suppose you've got to have the rough with the smooth. But they were great. They were great times. But now everything's, well, how much did you say it cost to watch?
$24.99. Sometimes it's $29.99.
Wow. Free back then.
Yeah, and if it's all over in one round, you've been absolutely had over the barrel, haven't you? You know what I mean? You spend £30 for 2.5 minutes work. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but then we're here, aren't we? And then Clubber's
Yes.
in his dressing room and Clubber's basically saying that he's going to crucify him. And Apollo's saying how well Rocky's done. And he gives him a gift, doesn't he?
Yes. Which I kind of liked this. Because he gets his shorts out, doesn't he? The USA shorts.
The ones he wore in the first fight together. And Rocky quite rightly says, I can't wear your colours.
Yes.
And
But he
says,
does. He does. He makes him wear his colours because he's got to listen to Apollo now because Apollo's
Of course he
training him.
And I like the bit that Apollo says to him, just make sure you wash them.
Yeah.
And do you know the bit I liked when they're all going out through the door ready to go? Apollo and Duke's got Rocky on his back. Paulie's got Paulie on his back.
He's what?
And the names, you know, the shirts.
Yeah.
So Apollo and Duke's got Rocky on the back, and Paulie's got Paulie on the back.
He's got his own name. Well, that just sums him up, doesn't it?
But I like this bit because obviously Paulie says to Apollo, you've done a great job. And you see Apollo thank him because at first they didn't get on, did they?
No.
So now there's a bit of a bond there, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, slightly.
Slightly. And because we've missed the point, haven't we, when Apollo and Paulie have a bit of a go at each other and Rocky says it takes about 6 years, doesn't it, to get to know him?
Yeah.
He says I haven't got
going.
6 years. Yeah, so... And then we're on his way to the ring and Rocky looks focused this time, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then Clubber Lang
focused.
comes and he looks menacing, doesn't he? And he attacks the spectators, doesn't he, on his
Yeah.
walk up there.
Definitely, you know, because the bloke gets out, doesn't he? Doesn't say, Clubber, you're a disgrace or something.
Something like that.
He shoves him away. And then again, true to form, when he gets in the ring, Clubber he makes a beeline for Apollo, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. And he kind of verbally attacks him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then he shoves him, doesn't he? Because he turns his back and he says, don't turn your back on me.
Yeah, and you can clearly see there's no love loss.
Oh, and I thought when he says to him, hey, boy, doesn't he? I'm thinking, if anyone said to me, hey, boy, I'd even look and go, you call him boy.
Unless he were one of them two.
Yeah, it was one of those two. But the bit I thought was quite funny, then there's a bit of a melee, isn't there, in the ring? And Rocky looks at Apollo and says, thought you were supposed to keep it cool. That was cool. And then obviously they bring them together. And this time, Clubber says, I'm going to bust you up.
Yeah. And Rocky...
What does he say?
Well, Rocky's not... He's not blinking. He's looking at him square in the eye. Not like the first fight. And he's up for it. And I think Clubber tries to intimidate him, but you can see Rocky's not budging. Not budging at all.
Because this time he says, doesn't he, when he says, I'm going to bust you up, he says, go for it. Meaning,
Yes.
bring it. Come on, let's have a go. And this time, Rocky is up for this. You can see this. And the bit I like is everyone's writing him off. The commentators saying he won't do it. And then, obviously, when the bell goes, he comes out, doesn't he?
Sorry, just before the bell goes, there's something important to say. When the two fighters are introduced, the ring announcer is played by a gentleman called Jeff Temkin.
Yes.
And he, unfortunately, was killed in a car crash in January 82, and he never got to see the film. And he was in the other two Rockies as well, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
What an absolutely brilliant voice he has.
Yeah, it fits it, doesn't it?
And
perfectly.
how unfortunate for that poor man.
Yeah, it's not great at all.
But there again, like you said, the two fighters, they're straight at it now, aren't they?
Yeah, Rocky comes out and he looks brilliant. He's just jabbing his head off, isn't he?
Oh, his combinations are devastating, and he's making kind of Clubber Lang miss wildly, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's just peppering him. Right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand. And it's like I say, and to listen back to it, it's like a gunshot, isn't it, going off?
It is a bit.
And when Clubber swings wildly and misses, you can hear the whoosh of the wind go past Rocky's head. So there's some force behind it, isn't there, supposedly?
Now, I think, and you might say yes or no, out of the first three Rocky films, this is the best round he's fought. I think he looks a totally different fighter to the other two films.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I think I quite like how they did this, like we've said just previously, how Apollo Creed has changed his style and he's making him quicker, smoother, faster. And to watch this round, I don't think Clubber Lang hits him once. All right, he swings and he misses, but Rocky just peppers him completely. He doesn't know what to do with him at all.
Now, here's a controversial question I'm going to ask you. In the first two films, Rocky was known as a slugger. He had a decent chin, but he never gave up. He had massive heart. Now, he's a proper fighter, isn't he? Because he's under Apollo Creed's influence. Do you think Mickey was the right trainer for him?
I don't know.
If Rocky would have had gone to a gym where Apollo Creed went to, he would have been trained differently. Do you think Mickey was good enough, or he relied on Rocky having a good chin and a lot of heart? I know it's controversial because we all love Mickey.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Mickey just relied on that he could take a punch and he could also give a punch.
Yes, because we can see now that Apollo can get a lot more out of Rocky than what Mickey ever could.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, when the round comes to an end, Clubber Lang doesn't really know what's just hit him, does he? He hasn't got a clue.
Oh, how many people are trying to control him?
He's going mad, isn't he? And then, obviously, it pans to Rocky's corner. Now, this was a mistake, this bit in the corner. Do you know which bit I'm going to say?
No.
Well, they spray some water into Rocky's mouth. And Paulie wasn't expecting him to spit it out the way he spits it out. He just turns and spits. And it kind of goes all over him. You can see by the shockness on, obviously, Paulie's face. That wasn't supposed to happen, but they left it in.
I did see that bit, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realise it was a mistake, though.
Yeah, it was a mistake. So then obviously they're saying, you look beautiful, just keep doing what you're doing. But Rocky's noticed something, hasn't he, this second round when the round starts?
Oh, I don't know, is it?
He's noticed that Clubber's breathing heavy.
Yes,
Hasn't
he
he?
is, isn't he?
So he sets off like he does in the first round, which is brilliant. But then obviously Clubber just wastes his time, then he hits him, doesn't he? And then obviously once he's hit him, we're back to like the first fight, aren't we? He's just all over him.
Oh, there's some devastating punches there.
Oh yeah, and you see Clubber's trainer, I can't think what his name is, punching the mat saying, that's it, go for it, go for it, go for it. Do you know who was in contention to play the role of Clubber's trainer?
No.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman would have been pretty good, to be fair. But I can't see him as a baddie.
No, but he wasn't big then. He wasn't like he is now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
we're going back to 82.
82, so he was in contention, and then they went with this guy. I can't think what this guy's name is, but I'm like you. Morgan Freeman would have been quite good at that.
Definitely.
Definitely. And then, obviously,
Yeah,
Clubber starts taking control.
He's in the corner, isn't he, Rocket? And
Yeah.
he tries to get out. And Clubber just gets hold of him, doesn't he? Shoves him back in the corner and gives him some more.
Yeah, but then Rocky's like, now, hands are down. He's letting Clubber hit him, isn't he, now?
Yes.
And he's taking some massive shots. And I mean massive, because you actually hear Adrian say at one point, don't stop the fight. Because he's taking some huge hit, and you can see Apollo and everyone saying, grab him, hold him. And he's just getting beaten, isn't he? Knocked from pillar to post.
And then he goes down, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he goes down he rolls, doesn't he?
Yeah. But he
He's
does get
down.
up. He does get up on the count of 8, but Lang is straight in there. And the speed and the accuracy of these punches. Rocky's down again.
Yeah, he doesn't give him a minute, does he? So he kind of just gets up and then bang, he's straight back down again, isn't he? Because, I mean, the punches that Lang is throwing is just... And I like the bit where it shows you, like, from Rocky's point of view when Lang's hitting him,
Yeah.
the aggression on his face. And if that man were coming towards you, you'd be like, I'm just going down.
Yeah.
Not getting
I'm
back up
curling
there.
up in a ball.
Yeah, exactly. And
But
so now...
it gets almost to the end of the round, and Rocky's letting him being punched. And then when it gets to the end, he's kind of taunting him, Rocky, and saying, you ain't so bad, you ain't so bad.
Yeah, you ain't nothing. And this is where he says, don't Lang say to you, crazy fool, because Lang's thinking, Mike, he's a madman because he just keeps coming, he's not going down.
Yes.
And then Rocky says, I might be crazy, but I'm not breathing heavy. So then Rocky says, I've seen you before, so he's figured him out, hasn't he?
He has. But
He's
in the
figured him
corner,
out.
Apollo wants to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And Rocky says, it's a strategy. It's a strategy.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And doesn't Apollo say to him, it doesn't take a man to stand there and get his head knocked off?
Yes.
You know,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I rewatched this reminded me of something else. So I did a little bit of research, and I was reasonably right. I remember Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle
Yes.
in '74, and Muhammad Ali knew he was getting on, and he couldn't kind of compete with George Foreman, the size of him. So he used a similar tactic. He used the ropes, and he also got George Foreman to absolutely pummel him and waste all his energy. And Ali went on to beat him. He beat him with his mind. And I think this is very similar.
Yeah, it is, because Rocky's just luring him in, isn't he? I mean, at the start of the third round, you can see Clubber, he's like snorting like a bull, isn't he? Because he's tired. Mind you, the shots he's been throwing, fair play to him. And then, obviously, that block Rocky does with his left hand, you know, when he throws the first punch,
Yeah.
he puts his arm up, does and blocks him, then he brings him into the corner, and then he obviously takes a few, and then Apollo's saying he's getting beaten, he's losing it, isn't he? And he's taunting him all the time and saying, come on, you ain't so bad.
He's
My mother
giving him-
hits harder than that, doesn't he?
He's giving him his own medicine. He
Yeah.
then knows exactly how to get to Clubber Lang by insulting him.
He puts his hand on his head, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he says, doesn't he, my mother hits harder than that, whole world's watching, knock me out, doesn't he? Hit my face, come on, hit me harder, doesn't he? Hit me harder.
And he's
And
starting
then-
to tire, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tired and Rocky can feel it. And then see that brilliant montage where he's just banging into him, isn't he? And we see all the characters saying, come on, no, get out of there, sort of thing. And
Now-
Adrian shouts, Rocky, doesn't she?
Yes, and in real life, they both agreed, hadn't they, Stallone and Mr. T, in the middle of the last round to absolutely go for it, each of them.
Yeah, and they are, because obviously they're putting their arms up, but they're actually hitting each other.
Yeah.
You can see it. And
The
then,
Lang's on his last legs.
Yeah.
And then it's one mighty final punch, and Clubber hits the deck.
Yeah, but before that, I like the bit where they're trading in the corner, going backwards and forwards. And then Rocky starts making him miss. And then this is where it turns good, isn't it?
Oh, you know, some of them shots where he's millimetres from his face.
Yeah.
The timing is incredible.
Stallone is fantastic in this. And I like the bit where he starts uppercutting him, lifting him up off his feet.
Yeah.
And then you see the speed. Obviously, the speed, and then like his fitness comes into it, and Apollo's punching every punch with him.
He is.
And he just pounds him and pounds him and pounds him, like you say. And then it's down to one last big punch with the right hand. And he's down. But I thought this was quite good because Clubber doesn't get up.
No, he doesn't.
He just knocks him down once and that's it. He's done.
Yes.
He's done, and that's it. And they count to 10, don't they? And they're all counting. And Rocky jumps up in the air and...
Yeah, everybody in the arena manages to get in that ring, as they usually do.
Yeah, as they normally do. And then Adrian comes down and says, "You're okay." And what does he say? "Never better."
Yeah.
But he looks $1 million in that fight. He looks that, like you say, I think this fight, I mean, Rocky IV's fight's good, but this one, brilliant.
It
10
is.
out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 fight, that one.
And if you noticed, because I noticed it, right at the very end, Paulie's actually smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, and Apollo kisses him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love that shot. You know, the shot of Adrian, Apollo, Paulie and Tony all together, and they're all smiling. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, and then we're done. He's the new heavyweight champion of the world.
But we're not quite done, are we?
No, there's a favour to be cashed in.
There's a favour, correct. And we don't actually know what's going on until we see them in the kind of boxing gear.
No, they go back. It's in Mickey's gym, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And then Rocky's saying this is totally irregular. If the paper get hold of this, they'll say we're crazy. Because Apollo is basically wanting his rematch, isn't he?
Yes, he says you beat me by 1 second. Do you know how a man's supposed to live with that?
I like the bit where he says, "How are you going to beat me? You've told me everything you know." And Apollo says, "You fight great, but I'm a great fighter."
Yeah,
and then when they're moving around the ring, and I'm like, "Oh, look out, here he comes." And he's saying, "I trained you too well." And Rocky says, "You move pretty well for an older guy." And then that iconic shot at the end where they're both just about to land on each other.
Yes.
And then it stops and the music kicks in.
Oh,
it's brilliant.
It's absolutely incredible. There is a little bit of part of me that thinks, I wonder what happened if did they really punch each other, because they're so close, the two hands.
They are, yeah. And like I say, it's just a brilliant shot because Rocky's going with his left because he's a southpaw, isn't he? So his stronger hand's the left and Apollo's coming over with the right. So very good. But yeah, very, very good.
The music kicks in and you think, what a film. And I mean, what a film.
Yeah.
I love every Rocky film, but there's something about this one, isn't there?
Yeah.
To me, the characters are all recognisable. Who doesn't know a Paulie, an Adrian, or even a Rocky? Rocky's a man he's not academically good, is he? But he survives on sheer determination. He never quits, ever.
No.
And we can all learn a lot from Rocky. No matter what people think of you, or the way they look at you or talk to you, never let anyone tell you can't do something. Because look at him. I know it's only a film, but 1 minute he's collecting debts. The next is the heavyweight champion of the world. You just need to have that belief. No matter how small it is, whether it's passing an exam, or whether it's taking your driving test, or whether it's going to ask a girl out, just believe in yourself, because you can do it.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just having that belief.
If this film doesn't give you inspiration just to do anything, I don't know what will. He's a genius for writing these films. I'll never get tired of watching them. I love them.
I'm the same as you. I don't know why they get criticised sometimes like they do, because it's what we all want.
It is.
As a film. It is. It's that popcorn film you want.
And we want to see somebody achieve. We want to see the downtrodden person actually win for a change.
Do you know, I look at it like this. Obviously, this has probably got panned by critics, this, that and the other. But you look at films that are critically acclaimed and win all these Oscars. I'm not being funny, Dan. They're rubbish.
Yes,
They are.
there's a lot of deep films,
Yeah.
sentimental, but it is deep because we can go quite deep into what Rocky says, especially with Mickey. But the entertainment value, it's top of the bill.
Yeah, because I think this one was about, is it an hour 40, something like that? And
Yes.
to me, when I watched it back, that flew by. Absolutely flew.
Oh, it does. It does. Because there's
Yeah.
that much action, time after time, just keeps rolling, keeps rolling. And again, go back to Stallone. How does he write it? How does he train? How does he come up with the ideas? How does he direct?
And
How does
like
he
you
have the
say,
time?
and he also, when you watch bits of videos, I think he did the choreograph, the fighting as well. You know, he's a big part of that.
Just an
So,
unbelievable man.
absolutely. Superb. Absolutely superb, Darren. 10 out of 10 film for me, that one.
Yep, definitely for me. And I shall
Definitely.
be watching it again very soon and looking at all those bits which you've pointed out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I've not watched any of the Rockies with my son yet, and I'm looking forward to watching them.
Great. Yes, definitely. Oh, that'll
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah, it will
Well,
be.
so that's it for Rocky, Simon. I've really enjoyed it. Absolutely
So
excellent.
we've gone the distance with Rocky 3, Darren.
We have.
So we've survived all the blows, the knockdowns, and everything like that. So what film will we be rewatching next time on 80s Rewatch, Darren?
Well, Simon, we are going to jump a little bit into the future to 1986. And we are going to go for our third John Hughes classic. This one is very dear to my heart. It really is. It stars Molly Ringwald and Andrew McCarthy, and we're going back to the high school to see a massive class divide, and we're going to see Pretty in Pink.
I look forward to that one because I don't think I've ever really watched Pretty in Pink all the way through.
It's a classic. You know what you're getting with John Hughes?
Yeah.
It doesn't disappoint. The 80s iconic music in it all the way through. The love triangle, high school, rich kid, poor kid. It gives you everything you want.
I look forward to that one, Darren. I look forward to doing my research, and I look forward to watching that one, and we'll be able to review it again on 80s Rewatch next week.